Hi, I'm Ryder Kaplan, and this is Fox Sports pregame show for Game 7 of the World Series between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles. Jack, how are we feeling about this game?
I think that it's going to be big to see here with Corbin Burnes making his first start back in Milwaukee after being traded before the season. Now at the Orioles, first time playing back in Milwaukee. It's going to be Game 7 of the World Series. I think it's going to come down to how Corbin Burnes can react to being against his former team, being in his former stadium, and how the fans will react to him. And I think how he plays is going to dictate the entire game.
Yeah, and important to remember that the Orioles were leading the series 3-1, and then after some great hitting by Rhys Hoskins and great bullpen performances by the Brewers, they were able to stay in it and force a Game 7 at home. Isaac, how do you think the home atmosphere is going to affect the Brewers today?
I think that the home atmosphere is going to be huge for the Brewers because especially in these kinds of Game 7s, it's tough to get offense. But I think with the home crowd behind you, it's trying to get the Brewers offense fired up. And I think they'll have a great shot at coming back from 3-1 here tonight in Game 7.
Thanks, and it's also important to remember that both teams made several moves at the trade deadline to help. Those moves included Jazz Chisholm going to the Brewers and Crochet from the White Sox to the Orioles.
Jason Foley going to the Brewers as well.
Yep, Foley's another big one. Aiden, how do you think those trade deadline moves improve these teams, and do you think that these teams could have made runs in the postseason without those crucial additions at the trade deadline?
Well, Ryder, the Baltimore Orioles picking up two really good pitchers was very vital. I mean, they've struggled with pitching in the past, especially with their bullpen, and I think those moves really helped them. On the other side, Milwaukee picking up Jazz Chisholm Jr., that was a very good move by the front office. They picked up a really good lefty bat in order to combat the righty-heavy Baltimore starting pitching staff.
Yeah, it's also important to know that Jazz Chisholm helped take some of the pressure off Rhys Hoskins, who's primarily the really only power hitter on the Brewers lineup, and he's having a tear in the postseason with 5 home runs and 11 RBIs, but Jazz Chisholm has 3 home runs and 9 RBIs, so they've been able to split the wealth of home runs and RBIs and really lead this Brewers team. Any other thoughts and stuff to look for going into Game 7, guys?
I have some. I think that there's also a ton of under-the-radar stars not being recognized. I think the main ones being Jorge Mateo of the Orioles and Andrew Monasterio of the Brewers, both of them having 2 home runs. And last game, Andrew Monasterio in the top of the 10th inning, made an incredible play to keep the game tied and then walked it off with a single to win the game. And I think seeing if these small guys that don't get recognized as much can keep playing as well as they have been, I think that's also going to be big in this. And seeing if the Orioles can finally start to hit well against right-handed pitchers. They've hit lefties very well, but the righties they've struggled against, and we'll see if they can hit them well today.
Yeah, and then I would like to close out by saying one crucial thing, and I want your guys' takes on this. The Orioles pitching staff, especially their bullpen, has been the reason why they've had to struggle. They were up 2-0 in the wild card round and had to fight back after having the 1 seed through most of the season. They fell down to the 3 seed and were still able to maintain the division lead, but they were down they were up 2-0 and almost lost in the divisional round also because of Craig Kimbrell blowing multiple saves. So yeah, they were up 2-0. They were up 2-0 in the divisional round after almost getting swept in the wild card round by the Kansas City Royals, and then in the ALCS, their bullpen showed several issues and almost cost them the series. How do you guys think that bullpen issue is going to affect them tonight?
Yeah, I think that'll be a big storyline going into this game because Craig Kimbrell, he has not had his best year, and the Orioles are really missing Felix Bautista, who's been injured since last season, was an all-star for this team. I think the Brewers have had a much better bullpen. They've been able to use Colin Rea as a long reliever, and then Trevor Meagle has been a big surprise as their closer. So I think that the Brewers, if they can get to the late innings with the lead, I think that they have a great chance to close it out.
All right, and Aiden, any closing remarks before we turn it over to our field reporter, Albert Pujols?
Yeah, I mean, it's Game 7 of the World Series. As much as we can talk about it here, anything can happen. This is going to be a very, very, very exciting game, and let's see what happens.
All right, that's it for our pregame show. Now we're going to head to the field with Albert Pujols, Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, and special surprise guest. This has been Fox Sports.